Los Angeles, California. Welcome to the Late Late Show. I'm your host, TV's Craig Ferguson. Please sit down, relax. Rub yourself in cocoa butter. I'll be right over. Okay? Cocoa butter? Why not? I got a sweet tooth. It is a great day for America today, especially if you're a music fan. Earlier tonight on CBS, the Grammys were on. I don't know what's the Grammys are short for gramophone. The Gramophone Awards, I guess. What the hell is a gramophone, I hear you asking? I don't know. People say that the Grammys are out of touch, though. I don't know why. Paul McCartney, Best New Artist of the Year? Yes. Well deserved, I say. That's right. That's right. Did he? Did he get Best New Artist of the Year? Yes, he got Best New Artist of the Year. Anyway, last night, because of the Grammys, it's Grammy weekend, I went to the Clive Davis pre-Grammy Grammy Awards party. Pre-party. It's a party before the party. I don't know. It was a party. I went to a party last night. Hosted by Clive Davis, who, if you don't know who Clive Davis is, he's the big cheese of music. Over the years, he's signed everybody. He's a big executive. He's signed Whitney Houston, Springsteen, The Grateful Dead, Mozart. He's done them all. All the way back. He's the kingmaker of rock and roll. He makes the kings. He was the idol maker before American Idol. He was the fashizzle before fashizzle was invented. He's a big deal. He started out... What? Fashizzle, that's nothing wrong with that. I can say that. I'm down with the kids. I know what's going on. I hate when they patronise me like this. Clive Davis started out the Arista, or Arista. Is it Arista or Arista? Who cares? He had a big record label. He started out Arista. And over the years, he built up this record label. And then in a big boardroom shuffle a few years ago, they ousted him. He was ousted out of his own company. Terrible thing. And then so he moves off. He starts a new record label called J Records. That gets very big. A couple of years ago, he bought Arista back. That's got to feel good. That has got to feel good. Yeah, they kicked me out of my own company. I bought it back. I wonder if he fired anybody that day. By the way, records, I should say at this point, records are those round things people used to buy music in before they illegally download it. Now it's how I get mine. Anyway, I go to this party last night. It's a very big party. It's bigger than the Golden Globes, this thing. It's at the same venue. It's the Beverly Hilton Hotel. And the Golden Globes are there, but nobody cares about them. But anyway, this is it. Oh, come on. The Hollywood Foreign Press. We like your movie, we don't like your movie. Who gives a rat's ass? Really? Anyway, come on. Oh, yes, I really enjoyed The Brokeback Mountain. Oh, did you? Fine. You know, anyway, Clive's party is at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. And the limos are around the block for this party. I turn up at this thing, limos around the block. Not me, I drove myself. I don't... CBS. I drove myself. Now, I've got this British car. I don't know if you know this. I have a British car, which I don't get along with at all. I don't like it. I wish I'd never bought it. It doesn't have proper cup holders. I hate the damn thing. Anyway, it's got a... Well, the British don't need cup holders. It's just tea, you know. But this thing has a GPS system. It's got a very snooty GPS. You know, take a right, please, would you? And I don't get along with this GPS system. It doesn't like me. I don't like it. It's the way we are. And it's at me all the way. How come you got an invite to the Clive Davis party? Can I come? I can't drive a car into a party. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's rock and roll. Drive me into the swimming pool. No! Give props to 50 Cent for me. All right, I will. So I did. Anyway, this party, I got a beautiful invitation in the mail. When you get invited to this party, the invitation is a plaque. It's a plaque. It's a big, you know, it's a classy party when you get invited by plaque. And I didn't know, I turned up at the party, I get out of my car and I've got my plaque. And I took it with me. I took my invitation in. And they said, what are you doing with that? I said, well, it's my invitation. You don't need that. I thought you brought your invitation. I didn't know. That's what I thought you did, to show who you were. You'd been genuinely invited. They said, no, you can come in. I made a casserole as well. I felt such a fool. Where'll I put this? I made a mixtape. I done everything. Anyway, the media, it's all there. The big red carpet thing is there. But I skipped the red carpet last night. I didn't skip the red carpet. Take my photograph. I didn't skip. I skipped it. I wouldn't skip down the red carpet. Not one of those things. Pat O'Brien would be chasing you right into the event. You don't want that. What? You're Pat O'Brien fans? Stop. You're so hot. Anyway, the Grammy parties are fantastic. There's a different vibe to the Golden Globey thing or the Oscar things because it's rock and roll, so the people are drunk and wearing leather. It's nice. It's like 1970s Hollywood. They're all kind of like, crazy. And it's a black tie event, which means the executives have to wear black ties. But the rock and rollers just have to show up reasonably sober with their genitals covered. That's black tie. That's black tie to a rock and roller. And everybody has, all these musicians, they have these huge bodyguards. Gigantic, these fellas. I mean, huge, really big. The gist of what I'm trying to get across here is these guys were tall and large, big, muscly guys. And you know the real winners last night? The Big and Tall store. That's who was the real... I'm telling you, these guys are huge. I'm 6'2", I'm 200 pounds. I'm like a midget next to these guys. They're like trees with eyes. They're like... I felt like Danny DeVito standing next to anyone. I felt like Danny DeVito standing next to anybody. The place is wall to wall with rock and roll legends, right? Bo Bice, for example, was there. People like Bono were there. People like Bono. Bono wasn't there. But people like... Is it Bono or Bono? In the old country we say Bono, but here you say Bono. I don't know. Does it matter? Doesn't matter. In the spirit of internationalism, Bono. I'm pro Bono, is what I'm saying. I am pro Bono. I am very pro Bono. Ask CBS. I'm completely pro Bono. Anyway, you can tell. You can tell. This party is very useful in Hollywood if you're in my game, if you do what I do for a living, because you can tell how hip you are by where you're seated. Tell how well you're doing, how hip you are, how current you are. I think I'm doing pretty well. I kid you not, last night I was seated between Larry King and Penny Marshall. That's absolutely true. Larry King here, Penny Marshall here. So it wasn't so much hip, more hip replacement really, but I was there, right there. I was a bit worried actually, because I don't know if you watch this show, but I don't. But when I went on this show, Larry King, I do this impression of Larry King. I do this thing. And my friend was in charge of the seating arrangements last night. So when I went into the cocktail party, I said, "Where am I sitting?" And he said, "I know exactly where you're sitting." I said, "Am I sitting next to Larry King?" He went, "I don't remember." Anyway, Larry King was too classy to bring up the impression, or he hadn't seen it. But he's very pleasant. We have a lot in common. We've got a kid about the same age, or his wife is the same age as my kid, something like that. But do you know what, though? It's the funniest thing. We're watching this. There was some bands on and acts on last night and things going on at the show. And Larry King's sitting there. And at a certain point, it's just a very odd thing, he leaned over to me at a certain point and said, This is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. He sang, Who sang Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog? He asked me that. I didn't know. I know now. Don't bother emailing me. I know that it was Three Dog Night, right? But I didn't know that. I don't think he didn't know either. That's why he asked me. Ah. That actually, coincidentally, is the most hard-hitting question ever asked by Larry King, ever, I think. Anyway.